Hey, Internet, Eric here. If you've been watching the channel recently or lately, I went through the From Dusk Till Dawn trilogy, and I did say following that, I was going to, as of new content, I've been throwing up some old Two Bearded Loser stuff that we thought were lost, and now we found them, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Um, After that, I was going to jump into the Underworld franchise, and I know Mike from American Werewolf in New Jersey, you're super excited about that. But that's five vampire movies following three other vampire movies, and I needed a break in between. So I thought, well, what could I watch? Well, I haven't done a Wildeye review in a long time. You don't know what Wildeye is. Wildeye Releasing is a distribution company that likes to distribute independent horror. It's usually very, very low budget, um, no name actors, that type of stuff. Kind of like what Trauma does. You know what I mean? So I didn't know which one to do. I did not want to do a stupid fucking shark movie again. And I'll say this: Wild Eye is one for four with me. One good movie, four bad ones. You can check out the playlist. So was wondering what am I gonna watch, because it's nothing but seems like on Tubi, shark movies or fucking dinosaur movies. I did not want to watch the Velocipaster at all, no matter how much Triv wants me to watch it. So I've been watching a lot of deathmatch wrestling lately, and ICW No Holds Barred is coming back to Chicago in June. I am going. I saw there was a wrestling movie from Wildeye released, so today I'm going to discuss from 2018 Wrestle Massacre. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot spoilers, specific scenes, what have you. Basic plot of this is we are following a man who literally looks like Bruiser Brody, and well, first off, the movie starts. No, how would I say this? The movie starts with naked woman running through the woods, her boyfriend running through the woods. They're being chased. I'm just going to call him Bruiser because I don't remember his name. They're being chased by Bruiser. They are killed. Then it cuts to 3 days earlier. We're following Bruiser, and he works for like a landscaping company. He helps with like the plants and stuff, and he's got the hots for one of the women who has hired him to help with the grounds. And while he's trying to get to know her better, he also wants to become a professional wrestler. And after a strange dream that I will talk about after a drunken night, he goes to the training school for being run by Boogie Woogie Man Jimmy Valiant, who I've never seen in action, but I know of him like at conventions. I've never seen him, but at conventions, and I know about his wrestling school. He goes there, gets humiliated. Everyone fucking laughs at him. So he decides after that he's snapped and he's going to kill everyone who has trash talked him, picked on him, that type of thing. Sounds like it could be fun. I've watched and discussed WrestleManiac, dumb fun. Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies, kind of boring, but dumb fun. Wrestle Massacre could be right up my alley. Okay, let's talk about it. First off, the guy that plays Bruiser Brody, Bruiser, whatever have you, awful. I don't know if this guy's a wrestler. His name is Richie Acevedo. I don't know if he's a wrestler, but he is definitely not an actor. See, that's the thing with Wildlife. A lot of times it just seems like they pull actors' names out of a hat. You know what I mean? And then they're like, okay, we got to deal with Richie today. He couldn't act to save his life. As a wrestler, he knows how to take bumps, but his kicks are awful. His punches are awful. He's got awful timing with these people that he is supposedly beating up. Every time he's on screen, he kind of sucks the life the out of the room with his acting or attempts at acting. Other characters. Well, let's get this has got a handful of wrestlers. Jimmy Boogie Woogie Man Valiant, there for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Well, I would say 10 minutes because he has a little bit of a wrestling match. You can tell why he's an actor. The Sandman shows up playing like a gangster. Well, not a gangster, but what do you call those guys that you lend money to and then they're gonna break your thumbs if you don't pay them? He's one of those. You can tell why he was a wrestler. He's awful in this movie. Rene Dupree actually has a huge role in this movie. I didn't recognize him because he's got long black hair, tattoos everywhere. He sucks. Awful. Nikolai Volkov is in this, of all people. Now, Bruiser is Cuban because there's an ongoing joke that he's called Mexican. He keeps saying, I'm Cuban. His father is played by Nikolai Volkov. I don't think Nikolai Volkov was really Russian. You know what I mean? When he played the Russian character in WWF. But there's no fucking way that man is Cuban. And he's awful. Okay. And then everyone else who's not a wrestler, awful. Horrible. You can tell they're reading off cue cards. When they're scared, they literally do the and they hide their face like that, or they point and laugh, or they go, or not point and laugh, but they point and they're scared, and like this and that. It's horrible line delivery, and that definitely has to do with the direction. This director sucks. Now, let's get to the gore. It is mainly crap. Now, you're dealing with what you got to deal with because of it being very low budget. And you know what you're getting with a movie distributed by Wildeye. So I understand that. But it looks very, very poor. We get faces smashed in with chairs. Then you can tell the face is plastic or rubber. We have fingers ripped off screen, and then you can tell the person's just holding their hand, and then sometimes like they forget and the finger pops out. When someone gets their face smashed in, like cut in half with a chair, and the tongue looks awful, I will give the movie this though. There is a scene that was taken, you could tell right out of Hatchet. Someone's grabbed like this. That looked really good. The problem is they kept showing it over and over again. And the impact fell flat. But I did like the initial jaw rip because like even the blood shot and hit the camera. That was cool. The problem is like a lot of this is like the very first kill, the guy had his throat ripped out. I'm talking about the two people I mentioned in the beginning that were running through the woods. So he has his throat ripped out, and that is just him holding the neck and blood coming through. It is what it is. But then the naked chick, she's up against a tree. She's naked just because she's naked. Why not? I guess. She falls up against a tree. She literally gets like her face ripped off. And the makeup on her face, like skinless face, looks so awful. The first thing I thought of is, I don't know if you know who the Angry Video Game Nerd is. Okay, James Rolfe. Well, he also has like this side series of videos called You Know It's Bullshit. Where he just, you know it's bullshit, I hate printers. You know it's bullshit, parallel parking. Eventually, and he would say all this stuff off screen. Eventually, he turned that into a character where his head was a literal pile of shit. That's what her face looked like. It looked so bad. It looked like a pile of shit smeared onto her face. Awful. So the gore is not very good. Now, what else is there? Soundtrack. Immemorable. Doesn't matter. There is also a subplot where one of the characters, the husband of the girl that Bruiser likes, is now in with money with the mob. You know what I mean? Like, because I mentioned Sandman. That plot went nowhere. We literally have him dealing with these mobsters just so we can get a body count, which is so pathetic. Because eventually, these mobsters show up. They couldn't afford Sandman for a second day, so instead they replace him with a dwarf. And so they're taken hostage. Obviously, whoever directed this and wrote this movie, every one of those guys is a rapist because they want to take the woman downstairs and hold them hostage and rape them. Of course, Bruiser shows up and saves the day, kills them. But here's the dumb thing. They're willing to fight him outside. They have guns. They put the guns down to literally fight him like a wrestler. Shoot the guy. Okay? Every single one of these losers wrestles him. Now, I get it. It's Wrestle Massacre. Shoot the motherfucker. Come on. So stupid. Now, what else is there? The death scene of Nikolai Volkov is hilarious. I will say this. The way Nikolai Volkov was trash-talking Bruiser and basically saying, you have brought shame to the family, I fucking hate you, blah, blah, blah. I hate you, you remind me of your mother, her ugly fat ass. That was funny. Okay? Now, Bruiser snaps. He starts strangling Nikolai, but he strangles his hands. Not like this, but like you got the hands like that, and they're so loose, and Nikolai is literally just shaking like that. It's not sped up. It's awful, laughable. That was awful. What else is there? That's one of the main problems about this movie. It's fucking boring. He doesn't even go to wrestling school for the first fucking hour. We're busy watching him deal with being in love with this blonde chick, taking her out to eat. We're dealing with her husband and the mob. We are dealing with what else? And they have so much awful chemistry. Whoever wrote this is insane. He's in the hole with the mob, and he wants to tell the wife, what the problem is. And the first thing is, "You're not cheating on me, are you?" No, of course not. So she immediately thinks he's cheating on her. She has a B plot or a C plot how she's an alcoholic and he's a cokehead. That goes nowhere. Oh, you'd think that the drinking problem has come somewhere because every time we see her, she's pouring whiskey or something into her coffee. That goes nowhere. The scene where he's at Boogie Woogie Man's school is awful because he walks up to this stereotypical redneck guy who is like one of the worst actors in this movie, and that says a lot. And he talks about how he's here to be a wrestler, blah blah blah. So Boogie Woogie, he's in the ring. "I'll take on anyone and show you how it works." Bruiser gets in, gets his butt kicked, and then he's humiliated. Everyone's pointing and laughing at him. They're laughing at a guy who has never been in a wrestling ring in his life, and he got his butt handed to him. That's what would really happen. And they're all pointing and laughing at this dude. I guarantee these schlubs would have gotten their ass kicked just as bad as Boogie Woogie. Now, what else is there? The last half hour is nothing but Bruiser killing everybody. And like I said, it was pointless. The kills were lame, aside from the initial face rip. And now, we finally cut to the end. All right? Bruiser shows up. Oh, wait, I didn't... No. I have to say this first because of the ending. Okay, one night, Bruiser got really, really fucking drunk on Bud Light, of all things. Has a dream where he's watching a televangelist. And this televangelist is being crude. He's saying swear words. And then Bruiser literally looks at him, talks to him, and says, "You can't say that." He's like, "I could say whatever the fuck I want. This is a dream." And then the guy morphs into the fucking devil. Morphs into the devil. Horrible Halloween mask. At least that's what it looked like. Morphs into the devil and tells Bruiser to kill everybody. Bruiser goes back to sleep. That's it. That's the last we see of the devil. Until the very fucking end. Where now he's on the porch, and the chick that he is in love with, she's finally got a fucking gun. And she shoots Bruiser right in the fucking head. And we think that's the end. But I'm thinking to myself, how could it be the end? Because this is 3 days before when he's out in the woods killing the naked fat chick and her boyfriend. Bruiser is brought back to life by the devil. The devil shows up in a suit and fucking tie, brings Bruiser back to life, and then he stands right in front of her. She shoots him again. It cuts to black, and I want to fucking throw myself out the window. This movie is awful. Not even in a fun way. This guy sucks. Literally, they make him look like Bruiser Brody. That's why I'm calling him this. This stuff here, the hanging, the dead bodies in the ring, nothing happens. There are no murders in the wrestling ring. Okay, if there are, I wasn't paying a fucking attention because this movie is so boring. The acting is horrible. The only thing I really thought was funny was Nikolai trash talking him and his mom, the guy's mom. Other than the face rip, the special effects are bad. The choreography of the wrestling is bad. Oh wait, why the fuck did Rene Dupree have to have a sex scene with this chick? This movie is long enough as it is. So he's banging his girlfriend, and it's a good 30-second, maybe a minute-long sex scene. So many positions. I think it's just to get the chick naked. Why? I love naked women as much as any man, but Jesus Christ, this was awful, stupid, lame, cringeworthy. Why did we need to see Rene Dupree have sex? So that was dumb. Music is immemorable. Ending is stupid. Instead of shooting the motherfucker, they decide to wrestle him. They get a dwarf because they couldn't find Sandman. And I really dislike my friends because they really want me to watch and discuss Wildeye. Well, guess what? Wildeye, you are now 1 for fucking 5 because Wrestle Massacre fucking sucked. Awful, awful, awful. I hate Wildeye and the movies that they distribute, other than Baby Frankenstein. And guess what? It's just a fucking opinion. I know there are so many people out there that love Wildeye, that support Wildeye, that defend Wildeye. God bless you. This movie was trash, and not the fun kind of way, because I like my own type of trash. That's it. Do not watch Wrestle Massacre. It fucking sucks. The end. So that's it. Like and subscribe, all that crap. I don't want to talk anymore. Comment below. Tell me what you think. I'm sure people will say I'm wrong. I'm sure people will say I'm right. I'm sure people will say they never heard of this movie, and those are the lucky ones. Fucking cheers.